7 months. Very emotional, lot of fun, lot of creativity, everything under one roof. It's as if, I think most of us here, we've seen these pictures umpteen number of times, but I think that every time we see this, it's like seeing it for the first time. Anyway, that was a great journey. Now we have with us a purple and a red Kantari. One of India's leading choreographers and dancers, who's got her own dance company called Darpana, a well-known classical dancer and a social activist, is Mallika. We welcome you, Mallika.
Mind you, my training means I don't really need a microphone, but for the live stream. I first heard about Sabria and this whole experiment, I think about 3.5 years ago, over a glass of very good whiskey in Zurich, at my friend and relative Sushi Creighton's house. And he spoke of how he first met Sabria, about Sabria's journey to Tibet, about her meeting before, and about how this institution had started. He talked of his own involvement, and he was just so excited that I thought, well, one of these days when I go to Kerala, I really must go to one. Then 2 years ago, I was performing in Cochin. I was running a large-scale workshop session with 40,000 young women in Kerala with the Kerala State Women's Development Corporation, going from college to college, telling them not to be such wimps, telling the young women to speak up, to demand their rights, that literacy was not enough, that they had to take their place and not be so scared about everything, that if they were harassed or molested, they needed to stand up and shout. And I was looking at this email from Priya, introducing herself and saying, I work with this institution and can I come up to Cochin to see you? She arrived, beautiful and charming, and it turns out she also is the third cousin from the other side of my family. Somebody has been trying to get me here for a couple of years now, and it's not worked, but I'm delighted to be here. I think the kind of state that our world is in just now can only be changed by initiatives like this. Functional literacy is not enough. Educational qualifications are not enough. The kind of upbringing that our parents give us, which is practically nothing except encouraging us to come first in everything we do, irrespective of whether we want to be in that stream or not, is not enough. Getting gold medals, going abroad and coming back is not enough. What is enough? Getting back to talking about what is important. Getting back to understanding that none of us are islands. That just because I don't think it's important to look after the environment, that's all that matters. To understand that every single action of ours, or the absence of an action, has the same connection as the proverbial butterfly in the typhoon. Understanding that we can only survive in the survival and happiness and dignity of every other element, be it human beings, the animal kingdom, or Mother Nature. And I don't know of too many institutions that have all of that at their basis and actually try and create transformative individuals. It is only when these kind of individuals spread across the world and the changes that they make reach a point that tips the world over that we can actually hope for surviving the tsunami of greed and of self-seeking and of and of the worst in human nature that surrounds us. What is it that we in India are teaching our children? We are teaching them that they need to grab and get on top of things. The only people we honor are people who have either ruined the environment or have stepped over the rights of hundreds of thousands of people, or who have been incredibly illegal in amassing wealth. And whether it's the politicians, the corporates, the governments, or the media, it's the oligarchy that keeps giving prizes and kudos one to the other to the one. Whereas even today, after our huge burgeoning middle class, 70% of our people suffer. This is true of many parts of the world. The suffering may be different, but suffering may be. And unless initiatives like this spread like wildfire, we really don't have hope of an improved, better world, or even the world in the state it is. This needs to spread. It needs to spread across India. We need, in the current scenario of violence against women, we need every woman to become a Kantari. We need every good man to become a Kantari to stop the other men who are violators. We need Kantaris in education, we need Kantaris in agriculture, we need Kantaris in culture. And as somebody who didn't know the word but was born into a family of Kantaris, I take great pride and privilege, and I'm humbled by what is happening here. And I want to say, spread and spread fast, because without that, there is very little hope. Thank you for having me here, and more power to all of you.